It's the boy Mirage, the silent assassin. I'm back. Salute. You definitely know what time it is. Just want to welcome you for another classic. Want to say one love and salute. Shout out and support to all the glass slipper girls of the Midnight Mirage. All the Aboriginal princesses out there who deserve to be on the high throne. You know what I'm saying? The real women out there who do possess some real kind of divine goddess energy in the image of the original Aboriginal woman. So I want to just salute all the glass slipper girls out there. Y'all definitely see the Cinderella glass slipper in front of you. And that is you all as a cult symbol. So if you are an Aboriginal woman and you know that you are that chosen woman, you are the alpha woman, and you know that a lot of people may have been looking over you, but you are the real deal, that you need to subconsciously associate yourself with the glass slipper of Cinderella. So I don't know if you want to make that your thumbnail on your phone or on your wallpaper on your computer, or even go and get a little glass slipper like Blackbeard has in front of you on the camera. But nevertheless, I think that's a good symbol for you sisters to hold, because I think every time you see it, you will refer back to, you know, Blackbeard talking about it. And here in the Midnight Mirage, the glass slipper girl represents the Aboriginal woman who is safe to be around, and she is a healthy, positive, good woman to be around. You know what I'm saying? So salute to y'all. And I also want to salute all the brothers out there, all the Aboriginal Aladdins. Okay, all the Aboriginal Aladdins out there. And I hope that you all went and did your homework assignment and Googled a picture of Aladdin, so you can clearly see that the brother has on a fez. You know, and only Aboriginals or Moors wear fezes. So all the Aboriginal Adams out there who are in the, you know, image of the true man, the image of the emperor, you know, the one that is in the original image that the Most High intended. I want to salute you brothers as well. You know, so all the glass slipper girls and all the Aboriginal Aladdins, salute to you all and welcome to the Midnight Mirage. So what I want to do in this tape is we're going to basically talk about black female leadership a little bit, the importance of leadership, and basically, you know, how when you're not a good leader, this could lead to things, you know, going south. So recently, there was some black female by the name of Issa Rae, and she came out, I think, in a book she wrote a few years ago. But nevertheless, she had a statement that said that all Asian men should start hooking up with black women, and that the black females basically should just leave black men alone. You know, that same, you know, repetitive narrative. And this was put out there into the psyche of a lot of the, you know, women of social media. So when Blackbeard, you know, got on the computer, he saw this shit everywhere. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black females saying, I don't want no black men. I even saw a female that had a thumbnail saying that basically black women and Asian men make good couples or something like that. But either way it goes, it seems like as soon as she said this stuff, immediately all the black drones out here and all the black clones and drones, all the Negro Bedstenches and all the Negro noose niggers, it's like they immediately clicked into Hive mode and Hive conscience. And one thing I don't really respect and don't like about black women is that you all have a very, very Hive-like mentality. And what I mean by that is you all don't have an independent individual way of thought. You don't really have any real individual things that you do that represent and express who you are as an individual. For example, with Kanye West, the other day when I was hearing him being interviewed and somebody was asking him, you know, why does he do a lot of the outlandish things he does? And he basically said that, you know, he just really values the power that the individual has and not having to go with what the public narrative is. And you standing on your own square and you doing things the way you want to do it. And I have a lot of respect for Kanye in that regard, because I agree to that. You know, I don't think that we should just be following what the public opinion is and just doing things because we think people think it's cool. And a lot of black females, I can't really get down with y'all like that because you all have a Hive conscience. For example, let's take Beyonce and her so-called beehive. It's a reason why they call it the beehive. Now, you all think it's because her name is Beyonce and she's the queen bee, and all her female fans, I guess, are all the other, you know, bees of the hive. So you all call you all selves the beehive. But that's actually not why you call yourself that. You call yourself the beehive is because you all have a Hive conscience. You all have a hive mentality or a herd mentality, rather. So you know how when you see a bunch of lambs or a bunch of sheep or a bunch of cows grazing and stuff like that, they usually are in a pack or in a herd. And they all graze together and they all think the same way. So when they see, you know, a group of cows going to this patch of grass over here, all the cows migrate over there. You know, when a pack of damn you know what I'm saying, chickens or whatever it is goes over here, then the rest of them go over there. And that's how black females think. You all have a hive conscience, and there's no real individuality. And the few ones that do have any kind of real individuality, these women are isolated, they're marginalized, and they are always challenged and cornered to where they give up their individuality just so they'll be accepted by the masses of other clone drone black women. And then they follow the bullshit that they got going on. So I just kind of saw that with the whole Issa Rae thing. That was just very funny that she would say that about Asian men, where like the brother Mr. Controversy said, and salute and shout out to him, but he dropped a classic, and and he dropped so many statistics on it. I mean, that shit was ridiculous. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to remember to make sure I put his video in the comment section, or description box rather. But in this brother's tape, he dropped so many statistics showing what Asian women prefer, what Asian men prefer, etc. And as we all know, the black female is at the bottom of, she's at the bottom of the ranking order when it comes to that. And when it came to the men, the Asian men are at the bottom of the ranking order. So the statistics showed by the brother Mr. Controversy that Asian women are not really even choosing their own men. You know what I'm saying? Like, Asian women are not even into Asian men like that. So it's just funny how the black female just, like I said, she just hops from dick to dick. Like, first it's on the pale Mankey's dick. Then it's on the Latino man is God. Then it'll switch to go, now I guess the Asian man is God. It's like y'all just are going from dick to dick. You have no kind of real culture. You have no kind of real identity. And I guess just me being an alpha man on the outside looking in, it just kind of pollutes, it damages, the image of a lot of black females. Of course, I know not all black females are like that, but it just can make it a little funny sometimes, So that's one example of the leadership thing. How black females have a very, very hive-like conscience and a very hive-like mentality. And until I see more individual thought, Blackbeard don't have no respect for you. For example, the glass slipper girls of the Midnight Mirage. These are women who have individual thought. These are women who go on their own paths and they don't follow the status quo. You know what I'm saying? They don't follow the other hive of bees just because they follow, they flying over here or they doing this now. The real glass slipper girl, she stays in her own lane and she does her thing because she thinks with an alpha mentality. Okay, so you do have an alpha woman archetype just like you have an alpha man archetype. An alpha woman is not a follower. She's going to date and do whatever she wants to do. And she doesn't go with what the trends are. Okay. So here in the Midnight Mirage, we only want glass slipper girls. We don't want that beehive shit. So if you part of the beehive, get the fuck out of here. So the next thing is that let's talk about the importance of leadership. One thing that I can say is when I make these tapes, I'm very, very conscious and very, very aware to make sure I express this stuff in a very, very coherent, clear, in a very, very coherent and clear way. And I try to make sure I leave my emotions and leave my personal things out the door because I know that I have an influence over some people when they listen to me. Blackbeard is a very, very influential person. When I was younger, I can basically influence and motivate a person to do whatever I want. I have a certain aspect about me that can be very, very just convincing, because Blackbeard is a Gemini. Half of him is angelic and half of him is very, very demonic. And the demonic side of me is very, very seductive, meaning I can get in your head. I can find what your core is. And I'll basically, for lack of a better word, manipulate your ass according to that if I want to. So, when Blackbeard was young, he had the power to start food fights in school. Anything you can think of, I was able to get people to do, men and women. Go if I want somebody to go swing on this person or punch this person, or we was in a gas station or the Dollar General or whatever, and I want some niggas to go steal something for me. I had the ability to get people to do that kind of stuff. So I understand that, as a man and being in a position of leadership, you got to be careful. And also, too, like, I don't consider myself a leader of you all. I'm not you all's teacher. I'm not you all's guru. I'm not you all's scholar. I'm not any of that. I'm basically you all's peer. I'm another Aboriginal man that's from the soils of America. Basically, that's all I am. So I don't consider myself to be you all's leader. The only thing that should be following me is my shadow. Okay. So Blackbeard don't want to really see anything following him but his shadow. So I expect people in the Midnight Mirage to be their own leaders, and I'd rather be on a team with leaders than on a team with a bunch of followers. And that's how I tend to think. I'd rather be on the Justice League where it's a Batman, the Green Lantern, Aquawoman, and Superman, and all of them have these high powerful talents and they all are one team, or just like the Dream Team. You'll have Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, so it's a team full of superstars. I more so have that kind of mentality. I don't have the LeBron James mentality. I don't have to be that nigga and then, it's my whole system and everybody has to kind of be a role player to basically cater to what I'm doing. Like, I don't think that way. So with a lot of these people out here on YouTube, you can kind of use that as a measuring tool to see, what's the real energy behind what they're telling you. Because we should be creating leaders out of each other instead of, want folks to follow us to basically prop up our egos. And when I see black females, it's a lot of ego propping when you all support each other with certain things you all do. It just is. It's a lot of ego propping, and that don't really go nowhere. So it's very, very important when you are a content creator on YouTube or any kind of social media and you putting out information, whether it's history or you giving people some type of advice. It's very, very important to be in a good leadership mentality because people are going to take your word to be the gospel. And some people are going to go in their personal lives and they are going to incorporate the things that you have told them. So, for example, I know a lot of you all have, went in your personal lives. And some of the things that Blackbeard has dropped, you all use it in your personal lives. You maybe have even quoted Blackbeard, and maybe even have had certain people listen to Blackbeard's tapes. So, since I know that you all are doing that, I can't be misleading you all and sending you all off a bridge and guiding you all down the wrong road, because that's not a good leadership quality. A leader has to know when to make the right decision and has to know when to step up and tell people what they need to hear, because if not, somebody can get hurt. Now, this transitions me into the next thing, because now I want to talk about how there is really no real black female leadership on YouTube and social media in general, and why all of you all are fucked up, because a lot of the people that you all choose to follow, these women are constantly deceiving you. For example, with the Beehive and Beyonce, she's one of you all's leaders, and this is a woman who's constantly telling you all about, being an empowered, single, independent woman and all this stuff. But in reality, she's a happily married woman with a family to a black man at that. Then you have this woman, Issa Rae. I saw a quote or a comment somewhere to where, she's not even an indigenous American. She may be from so-called Africa. And then on top of that, the man that she's dating in real life is a so-called African or basically a person of color. So her message that she put in her book doesn't even match what she's doing in real life. She's telling black women to date Asian men, but she's dating so-called black men. So this is why I'm saying, like, why a lot of black women are fucked up, because you all's leaders and the people you all choose to prop up and follow, they sending y'all ass down the fucking bridge. And that shit just facts. It's just fucking facts. It's no different than the OG of the block, in the hood that can get all the young niggas to go on a shooting for him. And then he just getting all these niggas locked up. It's really no different. And I'm going to use that street example in a minute. But there is a young woman on YouTube, and I usually do not say people's names, okay? I usually don't say people's names, but I'm going to say this woman's name because I want all the glass slipper girls at the Midnight Mirage to go to this woman's page and to check out some of her videos. And then I want you to think about what I'm sitting here saying about as far as the leadership thing, the whole hive consciousness of so-called black women. And keep that all in mind when you go look at this woman. Now, this woman's name is Madam Logic Bomb. Okay, Madam Logic Bomb. But as the brother Mr. Controversy calls her, Madam No Logic Bed Wench. Okay. This is a very, very interesting woman because, first of all, she has the name Madam, okay? And I told you all before about what the Madam is. Go look at my AKA tape in the whole prostitution quadroon balls. And I talked about what the Madam is. And the Madam basically is the original mammy. She was the woman who was responsible for looking after all the young slave girls and basically all the young wenches, making sure that they was, keeping up their hygiene, basically doing a lot of the like mammy type stuff. And then whenever the pale mankeys were ready to have sex with one of these young wenches, the madam or the mammy would send a young wench in there. A good example is the movie Goodbye Uncle Tom. I've showed that in previous tapes before, okay? So, any woman, any so-called black woman that would refer to herself as a madam You got to kind of watch that, because that's the same thing as like the bad leader, the woman who will lead you down the wrong road. Once again, you got this older matriarchal black female supposed to be looking after these young women and teaching them how to be upright, upstanding women. But you got, these same women forcing these women to get their virginities lost and selling them off into slavery. For example, with the whole AKA thing at Fort Valley, the secretary and the one that was pimping and prostituting them women off, it was a so-called black female doing it, And there were also a lot of stories that I've come across that deal with sex trafficking. And a lot of the ones who are behind the sex trafficking rings, selling the girls off into it and stuff, are black females. So this is that madam archetype, once again, reemerging and re-showing itself. Basically, the woman who is leading the black women down the wrong road. So this woman refers to herself as Madam Logic Bomb. And something very, very interesting happened sometime last year. One time last year, I had gotten home from work and I was just relaxing and stuff. And I was just on the internet. And something in my spirit told me to randomly find a black female content creator on YouTube and just watch some of her videos. Now, I don't know really why this came to my spirit, but it did. I never forget it. It was on a Friday. So I went on YouTube and I just kind of looked at some random stuff, kind of checked through some pages and stuff. And I came across, of course, the little recommended videos. So I saw one video about black women being at war or something like that. And it was created by this woman named Madam Logic Bomb. So some of my spirit said, boom, go check her videos out. So I went and looked at a few of this woman's videos. And basically her whole narrative is that, the whole same thing, black women are isolated. Black women need to protect themselves and black women need to prepare for war. Just a lot of, it's kind of like funny type stuff to me. But basically making it seem like black women are like these soldiers ready for war type thing, really. So after I heard this woman, the next step is Blackbeard left her a comment. I left the woman a comment and I was kind of giving her a little insight on some historical things, etc. And the young woman, she commented me back. So me and her began to have a lot of dialogue, and we were commenting back and forth. And I also want to note this too. She wasn't a disrespectful woman, and it wasn't like a rude thing between me and her. So me and this woman weren't arguing, okay? It wasn't no kind of arguing or nothing like that. It was just exchanging information, and me trying to, put her on game on certain things because I was seeing she was kind of missing certain stuff based on what she was spewing out to the public. So as we were going on in this dialogue, I was kind of letting her know, like, Miss Logic Bomb, I see what you're doing here and stuff like that, but, you may want to be careful about how you guide these women and what you telling them and stuff like that, because, you kind of like sending them down the wrong road and basically letting her know that, hey, you are in a leadership position by making these tapes. Like, these women are listening to you. And I'm looking in the comment section. I'm seeing how a lot of them are talking. And a lot of these bitches are dumb as fuck. And I'm wondering, are these bitches dumb because they listening to you? Or were these bitches already dumb? And then I'm looking at Miss Logic Bomb like, is this bitch dumb? So, so Blackbeard didn't know. I'm just putting it all out there and I'm laying it all out there. Mind you, I didn't call her a bitch or nothing like that either. So after I told her this, I think she could tell that I wasn't that gender war type of black man. She could tell that I was very, very scholastic and there was something a little different about me because she was very, very respectful. She never called me out my name or any of that. And she even had a few other commenters that were part of her, that are her subscribers that tried to come and talk reckless to me. And of course, I ripped them to shreds. And even in me doing that, she didn't come and defend them. She was just basically saying like, y'all please try to calm down and stuff like that. Blackbeard is a guest on my page, such and such, such and such. So I was saying like, okay, like, this woman may have a little leadership about her and stuff, because I was saying that her beastly ass Hive conscience clone drone followers who were trying to come and attack me just because I wasn't following their narrative. At first, she didn't go with that shit. She was like, no, this Mr. Blackbeard, he ain't being rude. This guy has been respectful, so y'all don't come at him like that. So when I saw that, I was like, this woman may, once again, I wasn't giving her no pass, but I was like, she may be just a little confused and maybe she just need a little guidance in the right area, okay? So I was like, I'm gonna be patient with this young woman, Miss Logic Bomb. So after that, I'm noticing, I said, look, Miss Logic Bomb, me and you can just basically talk amongst each other. Like, I'm not really talking to these other women. I'm talking to you because you the ones making the video. You know what I'm saying? You the content creator, so really fuck these hoes. Like, these bitches ain't talking about shit. Like, I don't deal with the henchmen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how in Star Wars you got all the stormtroopers and then you got Darth Vader. Like, I don't deal with the stormtroopers. I'm going to deal with Darth Vader, the main person. So all these commenting ass bitches, like, y'all ain't really talking about shit. Y'all hoes just lost. That's why y'all following her. So, you know, this is what I'm telling Miss Logic Bomb. Like, this between me and you. Like, I'm trying to get you on point. So when she saw that, I can tell that she had never really been addressed by a man in that manner. I don't know if she was used to arguing with black men or whatever. But what she proceeded to do next is when she started to lack leadership. And this is where she messed up. She made a tape and then she asked her subscribers if it was safe to dialogue and talk with me. Because, mind you, me and her were only talking in the comment section. I didn't want to do a Google Hangout with her. I wasn't trying to make a live stream with her or any of that. Y'all know Blackbeard don't do that shit. I don't fuck with these people on the internet like that. I don't know these folks. So I'm not trying to hook up with you like that. You know, when I'm saying dialogue, we only doing this in the comment section. Like, that's as far as I'll go. So that's all I really wanted to do. But she, you know, went on and asked her subscribers if she felt like they should, you know, be following or if she should be talking to me and stuff. So I guess a few of her subscribers went, of course, and they looked on my page and they didn't see nothing but guillotine drops, you know what I'm saying, heads rolling everywhere, blood splattered all over the wall. So they was like, nah, stay away from him. He seems, you know, he may be a little dangerous. You know, we may not be able to go tick for tat like that with him because he's not going to argue. He's on something else, basically. So then she decided that she didn't want to talk to me anymore. So I said, you know what? I said, that's cool, Miss Logic Bomb. But then I let her know, I said, you don't realize this, but I only really wrote you because something internally told me to write you. And I don't know what you got going on in your personal life, but you need to work on your leadership skills because I see that you're not necessarily a bad person, but because you following these heifers and these whores, you're going to mess yourself up one day. And I was just basically let her know that you're not a good leader. You're not. You think you're ready for war. You think you're ready for combat, but you're not. You know what I'm saying? And I told her that, you know, something's going to come get you pretty soon. And after that, I left it alone. So tell me why about a month later, I saw another video that she made about a month later that popped up on her low recommended list. Because once again, I don't follow this woman. It just popped up. And I saw that she was now in an all-out warfare with the Hebrew Israelites up in Chicago, I think. And these brothers was letting her have it. They was making video after video. And that's what they do. Like, they will argue with you. You know, that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? And them brothers basically ripped her asshole. I mean, they stretched that shit like it couldn't be stretched no more. And, you know, and then, of course, shortly after that, she started making tapes and stuff, you know, trying to get the Hebrew Israelites to calm down and, you know, and basically just got the egg on her face and looked stupid now. But I found that to be very, very funny because about a month before that happened, I told her, I said, look, your leadership qualities are going to get you in trouble. So that's eventually what happened. It seemed like the spirit put the Hebrew brothers on her ass because she didn't follow what Blackbeard told her to do. So they came and gave her ass exactly what she wanted because she seems to be this type of black woman that thinks she's prepared for war. So she got that. She got some niggas that's really on some real war shit. Because them Hebrew Israelite brothers is not playing. Okay. So, you know, so she got what she wanted. So the reason why being a leader is very, very important, and I guess what we can all learn from this Madam Logic Bomb situation, I'll give you another backstory from something that happened in Blackbeard's personal life. When Blackbeard was younger, he used to be involved in a lot of street violence, street activity, what people would call gang activity. And there were a lot of brothers in the street with me that I grew up with. I grew up around a lot of people, okay? And the majority of them were older than I was. Blackbeard was the youngest guy, okay? So these guys, of course, being older, naturally supposed to be in a leadership position. And, you know, some of the brothers in the street was on some real hardcore street shit. And then you had some brothers out there that was just, you know, laid back because we was all just a posse. Well, Blackbeard grew up with a brother by the name of Larry, who was part of the posse. Larry was a few years older than me. And Larry was actually introduced to me by one of my cousins, okay? And then me and Larry got to be very, very close and very, very cool. The reason why me and Larry got to be so cool and close is because, you know, Larry used to have all the women, like, because he was a little bit older than me. And at this time, Blackbeard may have been like 14. And Larry may have been about about 16 or 17. You know, so all the older chicks, I mean, Larry had them. You know, I mean, I'm talking about he had all of them. Like this nigga had all the women. So not only were we already naturally cool, but hell, he had all the older women. So, and what was funny is I can remember this one chick I liked in PE. She was older than me, of course, a lot older. And I could just remember it being funny because, you know, Larry knew the girl too, and me and him would just kind of joke about it and little stuff like that. I got a lot of good memories with this brother. And Larry also was not the type of guy who was this, you know, irrational Pookie and Ray Ray like you would think. You know, yeah, he was in the streets with the brothers and stuff, but he was more so there just, you know, just trying to protect his friends and stuff like that. You know, that's just how it go. You know, when you're in the streets and, you know, and your boys getting a fight, you know, you're not going to let them fight on their own. So that's how Larry was. Like, whenever we got into some shit, Larry always was there riding with the squad because that's how Blackbeard grew up. Like, you know, like one thing about me is that I'm extremely loyal to a point where it's not good to befriend me because my loyalty is so strong to where if yours is not as strong and you fault on that, then I'm going to come at you. You know what I'm saying? So Blackbeard is not really a good person to align yourself with because once I'm loyal to you, I expect the same type of loyalty. But nevertheless, you know, the brother Larry was a very, very loyal guy. And we was all a squad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we be in the club, once again, like 50 deep, just mopping niggas' ass left and right. You know, going on the east side of Atlanta and shit. We used to do that shit because we from the south side, you know, in Riverdale, College Park. But we would be on the east side, mobbing on the east side or mobbing on the west side, fighting gangs over there and stuff. So, you know, so loyalty and stuff like that was very, very important. And also leadership was very, very important. But one day, there was a situation in school, long story short, where Blackbeard, you know, one of Blackbeard's friends got into a fight in school. And like I said, you know, Blackbeard is a very, very loyal person. Now, you know, that's how I am. It's like, you know, if you fight somebody in my squad, then you fighting me. Like, I don't do that whole like one-on-one type thing. I guess that's a lot of my Scorpio nature. I have a lot of Scorpio nature in me because I can be very, very revengeful and I can be very, very, what's the word? In other words, unfair when it comes to certain things, especially when it comes to warfare. I can be unfair when it comes to that. So anyway, this guy was fighting one of my homeboys one-on-one, but you know, I guess he didn't know how Blackbeard really was. So I kind of, you know, out of nowhere just came in and cleaned bro up real quick and basically split his lip open. You know, he was fighting my partner and stuff. They was squared up. You know, of course they was, you know, switching, exchanging blows, but you know, bro didn't really see me coming, and I just came and I just cleaned his lip. Like I literally split his lip open with one punch. And everybody in the school thought I had cut the guy with a blade and all kind of crazy shit. There was a lot of rumors in the streets. It was a lot of wild ass shit that came, you know, from that. But literally, I just punched the guy, but his lip just split open. So they thought I had cut him. But anyway, after that happened, you know, the streets was very, very hot. And, you know, Blackbeard was on punishment after that. Because like I said, you know, I'm like 14 years old. I'm a young nigga. And Mama Blackbeard or Mama Mirage, you know, she knew that I used to be on shit like that and stuff like that. But when I would do that stuff, she would just kind of let me be on punishment and let me think about the stuff that I did. So this situation happened on a Friday, April 22nd, 2005. Okay. So this also kind of explains to you all why last week I didn't make any tapes, because I was doing a meditative process and somewhat having a review of my life, you know, because this is a very, very critical point in my life. April 22nd, April 23rd, and April 24th of every year. You know, it's a very, very critical three, you know, series of days in Blackbeard's life. So that fight happened April 22nd. April 23rd, the brother Larry, you know, was out, you know, because once again, we live in the hood in Riverdale. So niggas be always walking the streets, you know, walking to the gas stations. Like, if you live in the hood, you know how that shit be. So Blackbeard was on punishment, you know. I couldn't go outside. But, you know, of course, the brothers in the block, they still out there on the streets. So anyway, so because of that fight we got into in school, the streets was real hot, you know. So niggas was out like, you know, mobbing up, you know what I'm saying? Like that's how it go. Like our side of Riverdale, you know, and the niggas we was clicked up with, you know, we kind of had some issues with some brothers out from the other side of Riverdale and from College Park, like around Old National and Godby Road. Basically some brothers in a gang called Hit Squad, if y'all ever heard of that Waka Flocka was rapping with, the niggas with the lime green flags. But you know, but when I was young, them the niggas I used to beef with the most. You know, I'm cool with them boys now. But when I was young, that's in other words, like in Riverdale, that was our Bloods and Crips type shit in Riverdale. You know, you had the niggas on the South Side Mafia side, and then you had the niggas on the Hit Squad side. And see, we was from more of the South Side Mafia, the south end of Riverdale, whereas Hit Squad, they was from more of the north end of Riverdale, around like College Park and the southwest part, you know, like Fulton County. So, you know, some niggas from College Park, they came to Riverdale and like these niggas is all out in the streets, like, you know. So anyway, long story short, the brother Larry got caught up and, you know, some niggas ran up on him and jumped him, right? Now, after this happened, you got to understand that we always fight, okay? So it's normal for us to get in conflicts and, you know, for some brothers to get jumped over here. It's like, that's just how the shit go. But for some reason, you know, Larry was a little... His anger was a little extra than it usually would have been. So what Larry did is he basically came up with this idea that he wanted to go and retaliate. But the way that he wanted to go and retaliate was very, very risky, and it was very, very cautious, and it wasn't really planned. It was more emotional, okay? So at this time, when other brothers in the squad hearing Larry talk like this, and they hearing that his plan is irrational and it's not really that, it's risky, that's when the leadership's supposed to step up, and the certain brothers supposed to be like, nah, Larry, we don't need to do this. You know, Larry, let's just beat these niggas' ass when we see them in school next week. You know, and basically, you know, whoever is in that leadership role, they're supposed to be able to talk some sense into the other people. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because it still goes into Miss Madam Logic Bomb and her followers. This goes into the lady Issa Rae and her followers, and this goes to black females as a whole and how they have that hive-like mentality and how they just follow shit. And this is why Blackbeard does not like this shit. It's all tied together. But anyway, so the brother Larry, you know, wanted to go and basically retaliate. So the niggas he was around, after they heard Larry's plan, even though it didn't sound like a good plan, nobody really said, Larry, we don't need to do this. We need to probably work this out another kind of way. Let's just jump these niggas at school next week. We don't need to go and do this shit that you sitting here talking about right now. Because basically you are emotional, okay? And you need to kind of calm down, and we need to work this shit out the right way. See, that's what a lieutenant does. That's what a general does. That's what a real leader does. A leader knows how to keep their composure and not be emotional in times of chaos. And this was a time of chaos because Larry was very, very mad. So long story short, nobody talked Larry out of it. So Larry basically goes to retaliate in a very, very risky way. Okay. And the end result is, you know, Larry ends up getting shot up multiple times by an AK-47. Okay. This happened April 23rd. So April 22nd was the fight at school. April 23rd, Larry gets shot up with an AK-47. And then April 24th, Larry dies. Larry dies that morning. On April 24th, around 9 something that morning, Blackbeard receives a phone call that Larry has died. And the last time I had saw Larry was when school, because Larry used to, like I said, Larry was much older than I was, and he only had to go to school for half of the day. So he would get out around 12 or 1 o'clock, and one of my other older homeboys would come pick him up. And the last time I saw Larry, I remember dapping him up, just talking and shit. It was around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And him just saying that he was about to get picked up by one of our partners. And then I was just saying him like, all right, man, I'm going to catch you, you know what I'm saying, when I get out of school and shit like that. That may have been like that Wednesday or that Thursday. That was the last time I ever saw Larry. Larry is dead to this day. And why is he dead? Of course, because of certain decisions he made, but also the lack of leadership, because certain niggas should have told Larry, nah, bro, you need to go do this right now. So I guess the moral of the story is that when you lack leadership, you can get people killed. So Miss Madam Logic Bomb, she's not a real leader. Most of these YouTube folks that act like they claim that they care about the black community, like they care about black men and black women and children, they're not good leaders because they sending y'all down the road to do the same kind of shit like Larry. And ain't nobody talking no sense into y'all saying, hey man, you don't need to go do this because you get yourself hurt. Well, that's the difference between a glass slipper girl and, you know what I'm saying, a clone beehive. You know, is the glass slipper girl is a leader. She gonna stand up on her own square. She ain't gonna follow somebody just because somebody tell her some shit. That's how you get killed. And Blackbeard don't fuck with that, because Blackbeard lost a a teenage friend because of that, because of poor leadership. And now my whole squad and the niggas I grew up with, we have a spiritual obligation to him because of this. So that means his mother and his sister, we owe them. We got to make their life easier one day. Once again, that's how I go in the streets. It's loyalty when it comes to the street shit. That's why I said don't be cool with Blackbeard, because once you get cool with me, you really cool till death. And I'm serious about that. That's really how I am. I don't. That's why I don't deal with a lot of people, because a lot of people don't have the same intensity of loyalty like I do. But that's the case. You know what I'm saying? Blackbeard lost one of his childhood friends because of that. And now I got to get rest in peace tattoos and t-shirts and all this kind of stuff over some street shit. All because of, poor decision making and then lack of leadership. So that shit is very, very important, man. And this is a hell of a life lesson that you so-called black women, y'all better learn from this shit that I just told you all. Y'all better stop following these bitches that's leading y'all down the wrong road. Because y'all making real niggas like me not fuck with you at all. And the reason why I don't fuck with you, because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about Larry. I'm thinking about y'all hoes can get me killed. Or y'all hoes can get y'all selves killed. So I'm funny about people who aren't good leaders. I don't, because they get people killed. But this is a real mirage lesson, man, for all the glass slipper girls. Y'all get out of that beehive conscience. Get out of that beehive herd mentality. That shit ain't about nothing. Fuck Beyonce. Fuck Beyonce. Fuck the beehive. And that shit facts. So you either the glass slipper girl or you not. The real glass slipper girl, she call out bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And she stand in her own square. And she deal with real niggas. That's why most of you damn women hang with a bunch of other women, because real niggas don't fuck with y'all. And all y'all can do is be around a bunch of hoes all damn day. Well, it's the boy Blackbeard, man. Y'all meditate on this shit real deep. I'm out.